Crucify and chastise you. Did you know what these hearings were about before you came down here?
All I knew was that hearings were being conducted. There were people that I had known in Scientology that were going to be here, and well, I made my commitment when I agreed to testify for the IRS. Mr. Young chose to take a trip around the world and become no longer visible to the Church of Scientology. And I had to decide at that time whether I wanted to stay in hiding another 3, 4, 5, 6 years until somebody found out enough about what was going on to give me a running chance. You know, I'm not asking for police protection the rest of my life. I just want a reasonable chance to be able to continue it without having to be looking over my shoulder all the time, worry about whether my daughter's going to get into some kind of trouble in school or whatever. Maybe it's only a possibility, but would you take the possibility with your daughter?
That's not even a good question with my daughter.
Well, they're supposed to feel that way. So, I mean, if this is the mecca for the most advanced technology on the planet for altering a person's life, then where else could you go? And that's the whole point that I'm trying to bring about. You're supposed to be at the only place you can go for help in the whole world, in the universe for that matter. And all the rest of you guys are bad guys. You're just simple, everyday garden variety humanoids. And you haven't got what it takes to do the job, and that is the attitude that Scientologists come here with. You are the enemy. We're the Oriental gentlemen, wogs. I don't feel that way, but when I was in Scientology, I treated you like that. And got commendations for it. The people of Clearwater?
Yes.
I think the people of Clearwater are going to deal with Scientology for a long, long time. How effective you are in it, I don't know. I've tried to give you some suggestions about it. But understand, when I left Scientology, I left 8 years of friendships, people that I love and respect, who I know came into the Church of Scientology with good intentions to do something constructive for mankind, for the communities that exist or that they were a part of, for their friends and their family, and they have been sold down the tubes. I can't talk to people that I dearly love now because they're still in Scientology. If I got anywhere near an organization, I'd have more Guardians Office staff members around me than Carters have liver pills. They are forbidden to communicate to me. Now, I don't know how long I got to sit and take that kind of crap. I think I'm done with it. I may have to continue on and go through more hearings and stuff like that, but sooner or later, people that I know and love and who in turn love me and respect me that are in the church are going to graduate from Scientology. And if I've done anything to help that along, that's what I'm here for. Well, they're ill-fed, they're ill-housed, they're ill-clothed, they get horrible dental care, they get horrible care for their children. I have a personal friend, Christopher Penny, that was left in the middle of one of their Scientology drug rundowns, incomplete, and committed suicide a couple weeks before I could get to him in Hawaii. Yvonne Jentz, who is no longer with us, was a very, very close friend of mine. In fact, part of the problem I got into with the Flag people was I was trying to go to her office and be in her office. She's dead now because she depended on Scientology technology to cure a tumor. I can't ever talk to that woman again. She's dead because she went to a Scientologist instead of a doctor. That doesn't indicate danger. I don't know what does. There have been an awful lot of government agencies for a lot of years trying to nail them down and haven't done a very good job of it. So how long do you think it's going to go on? It's anybody's guess. I know that they've been taking 10% of the organization's income for many, many years and putting it in the Guardian's Defense Fund specifically to handle all this kind of stuff.
Can Scientology exist without deception and fraud?
I don't know how.
As a viable organization?
Because it couldn't compete in the rest of the mental health community.
That's a good, all right, good answer. One final one. What would you compare this organization to? That you've known and read about in your life?
I think it... See, you have to realize something. My father operated in the intelligence community. I have told him stories that when I first started getting heavy training, he is just, I mean, he was shocked at how I was being trained. And we would sit down and go over how those techniques were the same kind. My father did security for the Nuremberg trial, so he's no slouch. You know, he was an intelligence advisor to the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the Pentagon. I have never had any problem asking him a question about whether or not this was an intelligence technique and getting an answer out of him. He wrote some of the training manuals. All right? So you are dealing with an organization that has taken the most effective techniques of all the intelligence services, not only taken those techniques and used them to train their own personnel, but then taken those personnel and put them in those organizations as operatives. I've heard, for instance, Artie Mirren brag about people in Congressman's office that called up and reported to the Guardian's office on a daily basis, secretaries and things that were smoking. I personally know of a couple of ladies that were from Vermont that were on a senator's line that routinely gave information to the Guardian's office. So they're much more effective in most cases because of the fact that they operate under the illusion of a religion. So you can't touch them.
And we can't talk about that either.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's right. So we are slightly emasculated, too. Thank you very much. You're